اجعل صيامي فيه صيام الصائمين وقيامي فيه قيام القائمين ونبهني فيه عن نومة الغافلين ذهب لي جرمي فيه يا إله العالمين واعف عني يا عافية عن المجرمين.
اے معبود، میرا آج کا روزہ حقیقی روزہ داروں جیسا قرار دے، میری عبادت کو پکے عبادت گزاروں جیسی قرار دے، آج مجھے غافل لوگوں جیسی نیند سے بیدار کر دے اور آج میرے گناہ بخش دے، اے جہانوں کے پالنے والے، اور درگزر کر مجھ سے، اے گناہگاروں سے درگزر کرنے والے۔
بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، الحمدللہ رب العالمین، والصلاة والسلام علی سیدنا و نبینا حبیب الہ رب العالمین ابی القاسم المصطفى محمد وآلہ الطیبین الطاہرین المعصومین المظلومین ولعنۃ الدائم علی اعدائہم اجمعین. اما بعد، فقد قال الامام علیہ السلام: اللہم اجعل صیامی فی صیام الصائمین وقیام فی قیام القائمین ونبحنی فی ان نومة الغافلین وہب لی جرمی فی یا الہ العالمین واعف عنی یا عافیا عن المجرمین. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Greetings and felicitations upon the advent of the month of Ramadan to all of my dear viewers, to my dear brothers and sisters. Indeed, it's an honor to be in your presence and to inform you, or to allow me, to give me the opportunity to let you know the insides of this dua of today. Without any further delay, I will directly jump into the translation and also meaning of this dua. As we all know that the month of Ramadan have daily duas. Every day have a special dua, and this day also have a dua, the dua of the first day of the month of Ramadan. In this dua, we ask for three things from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First thing, we ask that may Allah give us the tawfiq waj'al siyam as-sa'imin, that Allah give us the tawfiq that our fast be of the true fasters, those people who truly fast. Now that's number one. Number two, we ask for qiyam al-qa'imin, that our standing up, which qiyam is indication here in regards to the prayers, our standing and our prayers be of those people who are true worshippers, those who are true standing up for prayers. وَنَبَّحْنِي فِيهِ أَنَا النَّوْمِ الْغَافِلِينَ, and we ask for Allah, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala today, the first day of the fasting, that He bring us out from the forgetfulness, from ghafla, because it is quite important to be out of ghafla. And then وَعْفُ عَنِّي يَا عَافِيًا عَنِ الْمُجْرِمِينَ, and we ask for forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask, number one, for tawfiq, for our siyam, our fasting, to be from the true fasters. Number two, we ask for our standing up for prayer be the true standing up for prayer. Number three, we ask for that we be out of ghafla, forgetfulness. And finally, we ask for the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, fast of true fasters. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam have mentioned that fasting, yes, it is, for example, not eating, not drinking, not carrying out those things which are haram for a person to carry out while he's fasting, which you all are aware of. But he clearly mentioned that fasting is not only that, but however, there's a fast of our eyes, there's a fast of our ears, there's a fast of our tongue, right? So therefore, one have to be careful about these things as well. It is a great opportunity given by God to us that in this month He has invited us. See, as you all are aware of the sermon of the Prophet, in which he says that, the month of Ramadan is at the threshold, the sermon which is known as the Khutbah Shabaniya, and in which we are guests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our host. So we are guests and He is our host, and He has invited us in this month of Ramadan. So now, as He has invited us in the month of Ramadan, when a person becomes a guest, goes to a house of a host, he would not do anything that will hurt the host, that will make upset the host. Host is trying to provide everything that he can according to his capacity. God is trying to provide us according to His capacity, according to His kamalat and perfection, according to His richness, according to His treasures, to the maximum capacity. And we, as a guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Ramadan, also must not do anything that will hurt the host, that will upset the host. Now, this is number one. The number two is that we all are the guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Ramadan. We all are guest. You are guest, I am guest, your family members is the guest. Not only those who are Muslim, the guests, Muslims are guests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but all of creation is the guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Ramadan, because the Prophet says that, Ya ayyuhan nas. Prophet did not say, O Muslims or O mu'mineen, but the Prophet said, Ya ayyuhan nas, all of mankind are guests of God. So therefore, when we go to an invitation where the host have invited me, where the host have invited your neighbor, so when you go to that invitation, when you are in that party or in that invitation, you will not do anything that will hurt or that will disturb the host. You will not go against his command. If the host says that you sit on this table, you will sit on that table. You will not sit on top of that table. You will sit on that table, right? So we should not do anything that will hurt, that will disturb, that will disappoint the host, which is God. So if we do anything that is against the will of God, if I am backbiting, if I am giving names to people, if I am making fun of people, if I am hurting people, if I am angry on people, right? So all of these things are against the will of God Himself, that I should not be doing. These things are haram for me to do. So if I am an invite, I will not hurt the host, number one. Number two is that my neighbor who is also invited in this month of Ramadan, and God is our host, I will not do anything to bother the guest as well, because if I bother the guest, then I am bothering the host as well. Imagine yourself in an invitation, in a wedding invitation or in any invitation. You go to the house of the host, and when you are in the house of the host, you try to bother the people who is next to you, who is in front of you. You bother them. When you bother them, you are destroying the invitation of that person, and at the same time you are destroying the reputation, and you are disappointing God as well. You are destroying your reputation, you are destroying your invitation, and you are also bothering the host as well. So therefore, in this month of Ramadan, as today is the first of the month, be very careful when you go to the Husainiyas, when you go to the masajid, when you're dealing with your family members, when you're dealing with your neighbors, when you're dealing with those people who are at work, when you're dealing with those people who are at your universities and college, your colleagues, your neighbors. Be very careful. Do not bother the guest of God, because this month is the month in which God have invited all of mankind. Do not bother God. Do not bother God, who is the host, by committing a sin, as Amirul Mu'mineen asked the Prophet at the end of this sermon that, oh, Ya Rasulullah, what is the best act in the month of Ramadan? The Rasulullah replied that the best act, after mentioning all of those acts, do long sajdas, be very kind towards those who are younger to you, be very easy with those who are working under you, and all of the list is there in the Khutbah Shabaniya. After mentioning all of that, then Amirul Mu'mineen asked, what is the best? The Rasulullah replied, the best act in the month of Ramadan is to avoid those things which are doing haram. So therefore the month of Ramadan is the month in which we all should avoid doing haram. We should refrain ourselves from doing haram. Whether that we are being sleeping, whether that we are being awake, whether that we are being dealing with people, one should be on guard that he should not commit anything that is haram. The other thing here which is important, as mentioned by one of my senior scholars, is that also be careful of the guest. Do not bother the guest. If you bother them, you are actually bothering the host himself. Imagine yourself in an invitation, which I said. If you bother the guest, you are bothering the host. You are bothering yourself and you are bothering them. We all are invited by God. So when you put that bin on a Monday or on a Wednesday, be careful that you do not put the bin, the rubbish, the garbage out there that will bother the neighbors. If you have a Hussainiya, if you have a center, if you have a masjid, I know people will be attending, people will be eating, there will be lot of garbage there. So when you put those things out, be very careful of the neighbors. If you bother the neighbors, you are actually bothering God. All the iftaris that you are giving, be very careful. Be careful of your neighbors. So therefore, that is number 2. Now, if a person is careful of not committing a sin, if a person be careful of not bothering other guests, then that is the fast of Sa'imeen. Then that is the Qiyam of Qa'imeen. That is the true standing up in prayer. That is the true fast of a person who is fasting. But he is fasting and he is going to different places and speaking about him and her and bringing the reputation down of people. That is not a true fast. And as a matter of fact, he might have a reason to do so. Here, shaitan is not the one who is acting. It is the nafs of the person itself doing that. It is my nafs who is asking me to speak against Tom, Dick and Harry. It is my nafs who is asking me to do that. Now, because shaitan is in chains. Shaitan in the month of Ramadan is in chains. So if there be an act that is committed which is against the will of God, an act which is unethical, know that this is your nafs which is committing. Because your nafs have been trained by shaitan. Our nafs have been trained by shaitan so much that in the month of Ramadan, as we are invited specifically by God, still if we carry on committing the same sins, then this is the tarbiyat shaitan. The shaitan have done me tarbiyat so good that even in the month of Ramadan, I am committing sin. I am going against the will of God. So shaitan is in chains in the month of Ramadan, according to the Prophet, as he has mentioned in the Khutbah Shabaniya. Isn't it so? Now, if I carry on doing it in the month of Ramadan, I don't like this person, I don't like that person, this is my nafs. Now, the month of Ramadan is an opportunity for us to really rectify, is to really purify. As we fast and we purify the bodily system of ours, as we kind of get rid of all of these, there are many programs which you might be watching, that how beneficial it is for the body to really fast, as it is for the body, as cleansing of the body, it is at the same time is the cleansing of the nafs, cleansing of the soul. If you give a little thought to what you are about to say, perhaps this saying of me could be against of God, don't speak at all. Only open your mouth in order to do the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in order to do the khair. So therefore that fast is a true fast. So in the very beginning of the month of Ramadan, in the very first dua of the month of Ramadan, the Imam is setting the precedence that, my dear followers, the lovers of God, that your fast should be fast of Sa'imeen. Your qiyam should be qiyam of Qa'imeen. Because there is qiyam, there is fast, which is not really fast of the true people who fast. There is people praying. Waylun lil musallin, as the Quran says, vow unto those who are praying salat. Not unto those who are not praying salat, but those who are praying salat, vow unto them. So therefore the possibility is there. Now, while doing so, the Imam in this hadith asks, because time doesn't really allow us, the Imam in this hadith asks that, "Oh Allah, protect me, get rid of me from ghafla, from being forgetful." Now there are certain alaim, the time is not permitting us. However, I will quickly and briefly mention, I will not do any explanation. There are certain signs of those people who are ghafil. Number one sign of those people who are ghafil is that they are unaware of the happenings of the world. They are ghafil, they don't know what's going on in the world. A person who wakes up in the morning is unaware of the Muslim affair, laysa bi Muslim. He is not a Muslim. So it is very much required to really know. Muslims, Bani Adam, as Sadi puts the hadith, that the Bani Adam, that the human being is like one body. If one part aches, the other part also suffer. So therefore it is important to really have an awareness of what's going around us and what's going inside our nafs as well. So when a person truly embarks upon the journey of self-purification, this will bring about an awareness of the surrounding as well. That is why the month of Ramadan is a month of charity, is a month of sharing, is a month of giving. So therefore, it is one of the signs of being ghafil, forgetful, is that a person is unaware, as the Prophet says, according to his surrounding, what's going on. Number two, the reason a person who is ghafil, one of the signs of the person who is ghafil is the one who is have no guidance. La imama qa'id. A ghafil person, a person who is forgetful, he will not have a leader. He is lost, he doesn't know where he is going. One set of people say something, he accepts it. The other set of people say something. You need an imam. You need a guide for not being ghafil. Number three, alamat, the sign of a ghafil, is that he is with those who are mudnibin, those who are committer of sins. Those who commit sin, he is accompanied with them. This is a ghafil person. The other person, the sign of a ghafil is yahu ma'al ghafilin. He is someone who is always with those who are ghafil. They themselves have no aware. One with the company of those who commit sin, the other is the company those who are ghafil themselves. And the one who is ghafil, one of the sign of his who is ghafil, he is after sahw wa lahu wa nisyan. He is after vain things. That's a ghafil. Now what is the result of being ghafil? The result of being ghafil is man ghafala jahila. A person who is ghafil, he is jahil. He is ignorant. He doesn't know anything. What is being, what is the result of being ghafil? The result of being ghafil is فَفِيهَا تَكُونُ قِسَاوَةُ الْقَلْبِ. It is very important. Remember, we were doing the talks on spirituality in the month of Rajab. We talked about ghafil. لَا تَجْعَلْنِي مِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ الْمُبْعِدِينَ. We were doing the tafsir of that dua of Rajab, which is, one of the very duas of Rajab, which says, لَا تَجْعَلْنِي مِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ. And mub'ideen. When we talked about ghafilin, we said this: a person who becomes forgetful, his heart becomes hard-hearted. Those who came to slaughter Imam Hussein alayhi salam, even after knowing, what were they saying? Kulthum in his khutbahs, Hazrat Zainab in his khutbahs, Imam Hussein in his khutbahs, what did he say? He said that I'm guiding you, but my guidance is falling on deaf ears because your hearts have hardened. So a person who becomes ghafil, forgetful, his heart will become hard. Even after knowing, still there is no sort of change in his heart. Man ta'alat ghaflatahu ta'ajjalat halakatahu. A person who becomes ghafil, the result is halakat, is destruction. His destruction will be as soon as possible. Dawamul ghaflah yu'mil basira. Amirul Mu'mineen, a person who becomes forgetful, he will become blind. He will not have basira. Blind means that he does not see. Blind means that he will have the reality in front of him, but he will not be able to see what reality is. Abu Basir was blind, but he could see the Imam standing in the marketplace and mentioning the person or the companion who asked that, oh, are you blind? The Imam is front of you. But the companion says, I have asked other people in the marketplace, they saw the Imam, they touched the Imam, but still they couldn't see the Imam. That requires basirat. That requires an insight eye to really see the Imam. So a person who is ghafil, dawamul ghaflah yu'mil basira. A person who becomes ghafil, he will not have no basirat. So fasad, there will be corruption. فَإِنَّ الْغَفْلَةِ تُفْسِدُ الْآمَالِ. A person who becomes ghafil, his amal will be corrupt, will be gone to waste. His amal will have no result and fruit. And there are many riwayat and hadith. The time doesn't really allow us. But how can we come out of this ghafla? We are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is بِالدَّوَامِ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَنَاجِبُ الْغَفْلَةِ. By the extension of remembrance of God, one will come out of ghafla. And fasting is the best opportunity that will allow us. Ya Aba Dhar, hamma bil hasana. O Aba Dhar, the Prophet advises, O Aba Dhar, hamma, have that himma, have that will, have that courage to do hasana. That will bring us out of ghafla. Even if we cannot fulfill doing something that is good, at least we should have the azm, at least we should have the niyyah. Oh, I wish, I could really fast. If a person is, for example, very old, very ill, have that himma, have that azm, have that irada, have that intention to do something good, will bring us out of ghafla. We have discussed this topic of phenomena of ghafla in detail in our previous program. What is forgetfulness? Where does it really comes from? It is against the fitra and nature of man to be forgetful. It is in his nature to be awake. His fitra remembers God. We don't really have time to really go in. So therefore, man arafa ayyama lam yaghful anil isti'dad. A person who is aware of his surrounding of the days, then he will not be counted as the one who is from ghaflat. Ibadallah usikum bitaqwallah. Amirul Mu'mineen says that, oh my ibad, oh people, I invite you for God wariness and God consciousness, because this God wariness and God consciousness will bring us out of ghafla. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept the fast of yours, the prayers of yours, the salat of yours, the du'as of yours, the charity of yours, the good thoughts of yours. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our sins and the sins of our marhumeen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala haze the reappearance of our 12th Imam and include us as the faithful companions of the 12th Imam. غفر الله لنا ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.